Well, hello everyone and welcome back to the Fallout Gaming Major All-Stars Tournament here. We're in the North American qualifiers and we're down to the semifinals. We got KotLGuy taking on Fire Dota. We just witnessed game number 1. Unfortunate circumstances there for Fire Dota as fucking Mad, unfortunately due to connection issues, had the DC out of the game. We gave him about 10 to 12 minutes time to try to get back into it, but of course we had to follow regulation and the game must go on. And with the advantage and KotLGuy already being ahead in the early laning stage, it was just delaying the inevitable, and they kind of swept through and walk away with a Game 1 victory. Now, game number 2, it's match point for them. Fire Dota need to try to stay alive here with a solid draft and execution. Myself, KotLGuy, bringing you the action, but I got two good buddies with me joining for this one. I got David Blaze coming in remotely as my co-caster, and for doing the stats, I got KotDota in to bring in some of the good number crunching. So, Blaze, we got Whitebeard here as a stand-in, no more fucking Mad, and, well, what's the game plan here to look to shake this one off and try to make the best with a ringer?
Well, it seems to be to just ruin Mike's day, honestly, with the draft here. We've got a Clockwork Band, we've got a Batrider pick. This is going to be for Demon in the offlane. That's going to give him a really rough time making a versatile decision. He kind of gets fenced into a corner a little bit with the two big heroes taken out that you were mentioning in the last game, but draft is speeding up quite a bit as they expected the Centaur to come through. Perhaps had an idea about the Enigma, maybe not, but in either case, knowing with the Centaur, they wanted to go with the Chen, they want to get involved with some early push and a lot of early kill potential. But as far as the wild card here, Demon was one of the ones that we were looking at before, who doesn't really have that clear of a hero pool surrounding his role. Since he kind of went to the offlane, he's only played maybe like 6 games. Well, I guess you can count the 7th here with that loss on Tide, but essentially he's only played 4 heroes: Tide, Bat, Spearbreaker, Axe. But by opening with the first pick Bat, you take him out of the picture, and now you bring in Whitebeard, as you were saying. I've been following this guy for a while. He was originally in Josh Tabak Gaming, and then was able to move over to Fnatic NA, and since then has just found a lot of random spots as a stand-in and as a member of Fire Dota, or well, technically Sneaky Nick's Assassins at the time. So trying to see how he's going to fit into this. He can play a lot of versatile heroes. I think Ancient Apparition would be really strong. That's one of his favorites. Disruptor also comes into play and has a lot of potential. So we'll see exactly what he's going to bring to the table, but you can bet that it's going to be fluff on the Chen.
I wouldn't be surprised if KotLGuy reach for a Vengeful Spirit right here. It's made its way all the way through. You got a Batrider on Fire's side. You need a secondary support who can probably be your anti-Batrider regardless of BKB or not. I don't see any reason maybe you don't consider Plus being on Dire's side, Vantage with the Roche nearby, having the minus armor. It's just screaming Vengeful Spirit to me right here, but we'll see, yeah. So with the smart choice here, Fire, they're going to go back into the jungle with getting this Chen, and now they will ban outright that Bounty Hunter, knowing it's something KotLGuy can reach for if they want to, give it to my nuts to have as an option. Now it's not going to be there, so we'll see as they do sweat out the clock right here. Falling back on something that Mike has played a lot in recent history, the Centaur. We haven't seen it, in a little while, but he does play it a lot frequently in NEL, so knows how to opt for the hero. But KotLGuy showing as well when they grab the Enigma on that Dire side that they're looking to be a bit more greedy. So Fire Dota could also consider amping up that level 1 aggression. Ancient Apparition is one of the best at level 1 game, but they're actually not going to go with the Vengeful Spirit. They get the Skywrath Mage again for Z-Freak, a hero he loves to pick up, or at least they love to put him on. And now that means the Vengeful Spirit's going to be snagged up from Fire.
Yeah, I think the Venge was one of the two best options there. The Lion is still in the pool, the Disruptor is still in the pool, and I think the Disruptor in particular is really good against the 3 heroes that we see from KotLGuy right now. But Venge overall is just such a good hero in the early game, and she's the one of the 3 that fuels push momentum. As far as attack damage from creeps, that Chen army is going to be just amped up that little bit extra, and they can even consider a relatively early Roche. They've got great control in the pit because of the Batrider. They've got good physical damage coming out from their 2 supports, and they can maybe go and follow that up with something like the Troll Warlord, or I guess I could even consider Ush's Faceless Void again. That actually is really good against both Enigma and Centaur, and I could see it doing some work here.
Just one of the rare times also that we're not going to see an Axe acknowledged at all. I mean, given that both these teams prioritize getting their offlaners at the beginning of the draft, and once that's settled, it seems like falling back on an Axe is not even necessary, so we don't need to ban it, we don't need to acknowledge it. So, it's just like the smallest percentile against most teams where you're not going to pick or ban it outright, so it's just a funny little thing to see. But here's going to be the 4th grab for both teams. Zeus is going to be snagged up for KotLGuy. The amplification now with Ancient Seal on top of this Zeus power to burst. very, very strong and able to kind of clear out maybe potential pushes that could come their way with this Chen army. And Anti-Mage is going to be the response from Fire Dota, what I imagine being Ush's grab.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, this is going to be such a good anti-mage game. I actually can hardly think of a better
5
lineup for AM
seconds
to go up
remaining.
against. You've got 3 intelligence heroes that can turn into gigantic mana void bombs. You can
10
interrupt Black
seconds
Hole
remaining.
just by, even on a BKB Enigma, using your mini stun.
5
If
seconds
the
remaining.
Chen's Troll Warlord or the Nether Swap are unavailable. And then, of course, you have a Centaur who has almost no mana pool to speak of in the lane, and a couple of right clicks, and he's not going to be able to stun at all. Not to mention the fact that you're mitigating a ton of magical damage here. The Skyrath Zeus and even the Centaur Double Edge, they're all looking to bring that core hero down very quickly, but 1 point in Spell Shield early on is going to mitigate a lot of that damage, and it's going to be allowing them to respond to those situations very, very nicely. I love the pickup, and it's going to be very difficult for Complexity
10
to
seconds remaining.
really feel confident against this. They need some good physical right-click damage coming in from their last pick, and it is going to be the Phantom Assassin, a very common matchup when PA was in her prime, but even still, it's going to be an important thing here. They're going to go Skyrath, PA ganks on the Anti-Mage. If they can get the silence long enough, the PA might be able to crit him down.
I always fear that the might be. It's like it's not secure. You're relying on the fact that RNG is going to help take you home, and that you would be able to burst through some like Anti-Mage. So it could be a precious grab, or letting him go could cost you so much to let him live on, and then you expend so much to even get him down. But to round things out for the mid lane Brax, it looks like Queen of Pain is going to be the choice here for Fire. Someone who doesn't care about your pesky B gate B. That's pure damage that's going to be coming out from her Sonic wave, and well, that is going to be very, very devastating to some of these lower, little intel supports. Skyrath, Zeus, Enigma could be in for a bit of trouble here. And I got to say, I think Fire put together a pretty solid lineup here for game number 2, but we'll have to see as it comes down to proper execution, first and foremost, as we'll see Complexity take on Fire once more. I'll lead off with some early introductions because we could see another level 1 jungle skirmish, considering there is an Enigma here for Complexity. We got IX Mike, who's been their stand-in for the past couple of days, doing a really nice job, I must say. And he's going to be playing the Centaur Warrunner for the off-lane. Swindle Melons is going to be playing your PA. We got Lip, who's going to be playing what looks like your mid-lane Zeus, based on his 2 shared tangos and a Clarity. My Nuts is going to be playing the Jungle Enigma, and Z-Freak again on what is quickly his signature hero, the Skyrath Mage.
And Demon moving out with the boots first is going to be able to get a very nice ward out here. It's not going to give them the vision on the top rune spawn, and it's not going to block off any of the camps, but it is less likely to be dewarded or lightning bolted down, and this means that it's going to give Demon a little bit more potential to get good experience on this lane by giving him some valuable intel. So we'll see him there, and in the meantime, I think that actually the overall tempo of this game, we're going to be seeing some cool ganks from Brax. He's going to get some good kills in general, but it's really just going to be about Ush getting that Manta style. When he gets the Battle Fury Manta, or maybe goes for a diverse build like the Crimson Manta, in either case, once he gets the Manta and once he hits 3 AM, that's when Fire look to push an end.
And now we're going to see the spawn of the Bounty Rune here. Mike is going to get bullied away from the bottom. It's going to be an easy secure for Ush. It looks like Fire could be walking away with both runes, and that is the case. Demon picks up the Bounty for the top. Ush grabs the one for the bottom. It is just the start of the game, but that is a big boost for a team. You're talking a 200 gold bonus and 200 XP bonus for one side.
Yeah, and it mostly has to do with the fact that Complexity have a really bad level 1 clash, no matter how you look at it. The Zeus doesn't always contribute that much with just like Arc Lightning. The Enigma wants to go Eidolons first. The Skyrath has to pick between damage or chase, and the Centaur can't get in close enough position to actually use his abilities. So yeah, it's going to be a nice twofer for Fire, and that gives a decent advantage to both the heroes that picked it up. Demon will have his Tranquil Boots up that much more rapidly, and in this case actually I think he should probably go Magic Stick. He's up against PA and Skyrath, so that could help him deal a lot more with their harassment.
Yeah, it's guaranteed that there's going to be a lot of these things coming his way. The pesky little zoning arcane bolts, which just do so much damage and cost like nothing, a nickel's worth of mana. And with the Clarity, you're going to be doing them all day. Plus the daggers that are pretty much guaranteed to come out, whether it's harassment or just securing CS, as you see right there. Magic Stick would definitely be a valuable pickup for him, so we'll see if it's something he goes for. But you can say the same thing, of course, for the other side. You get PA, of course, has a Magic Stick herself, and maybe even Zephyr could grab one as well, considering all the stickies that could be coming out there. But it's a one-on-one matchup, at least for now, between the former teammates here in the bottom lane. Ush's Anti-Mage going toe-to-toe with Mike and his Centaur, and he is having a really nice start here, or he's securing 4 CS for himself. He's got the wave right next to the tower to work with. Centaur is not one of those heroes you want to allow to get an early boost of momentum.
Yeah, but you'll look at this as a really interesting thing. The fact that Anti-Mage chose to go for a 1v1 engage on the Centaur early, and it cost him a lot of health, but if you look at the Centaur's mana, he has only 60 because of the mana break. So he drops down to almost no mana, has no clarity to bring it back up, unless he finds like a lucky regen rune, that's going to stay where it is. So Mike doesn't even bother skilling up the stun.
Yeah.
He goes for the double edge return. Maybe he'll pick up Hoof Stomp at level 4, but not prior to that.
2-minute rune. Limp wants the top one, but he walks into 2 members of the fire squad, and this could be your first blood. Just a couple of stacks and one more right click, and it's sure enough going to be donezo. So with that, it looked like they tried to get the deny from Z-Freak on the Shadow Strike, but it's not going to be there. Demon gets your first blood bonus on a Bat Rider. He already has 900 gold, so he is off to a nice head start.
Yeah, Skywrath hit a little early there. It was 86 HP on the Zeus. Sky only hit him for 36. So, yeah, there was plenty of buffer room for Fire to finish the job and get a very valuable first blood. I mean, Demon, like, did he sell a Magic Stick? He bought a Magic Stick and he sold it. There's a possibility that, I don't know, I don't think he actually got the full value 200 gold from it. I think he actually held on to it for long enough that he was just... got a little bit of value from it for the first exchanges, and then he sold it back for 100 after he got the first blood.
Well, I guess call it as it is. He'll now walk away from the base with a fancy new bottle and a TP on hand just in case. So Demon showing that in his off-lane play, he really likes to be part of the game. Likes to make a big impact. Which when stuff breaks out, he wants to be able to have the express ticket to get involved and get an early licking in. So with that, touching base on your mid lane matchup here, Brax's Queen of Pain going against Limp Zeus. Zeus was already brought down once, so he has to kind of play catch up here as Brax is going to be well in the head as he pushes near level 5. Limp about halfway through level 4. Limp has 14 CS to Brax's 16. They're pretty close on that front, but we'll see who gets to level 6 first because we could see fireworks right away.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's a lot of pure damage on a single cone versus, of course, a lot of magic damage across the board. But the one thing I do want to note is that Chen can, for the most part, actually counteract the value of Thunder God Wrath as far as team fight damage output. The Hand of God actually heals, I think it's somewhere between 20 and 30 more health than the Thunder God's Wrath does. It does have a significantly longer cooldown, but hopefully you choose your engagements when you have your Hand of God available almost exclusively. But in the meantime, as far as jungle rates, we're actually seeing that the Enigma is going to pull ahead decently here. This is something you'd expect hero for hero, but essentially 1,800 net worth comes out for the Enigma, while only 1,500 has been acquired for Fluff's Chen. And this is one of the best Chens and in the business. So he's very efficient with his movements. He's published multiple guides on it, but as efficient as he may be, he's not going to be able to outpace the Enigma, who just is happy to Soul Ring, find the early items, and Fluff has to commit to a little bit more gank activity.
This is just your classic exhibition of dire jungle Enigma that you would see on YouTube or wherever have it when you have the most optimal setup. No real contention. He has all the camps to shuffle through, using the Midnight Pulse to kind of get the extra pulls in there. So he has his Soul Ring, 1k. He can blitz forward to getting a good head start on the mechanism, and he's going to be like level 7 by the time, like, you know, the 5-minute, 30-second mark comes in. So that is just phenomenal pacing right now from MyNuts and his Enigma play.
Yeah, top lane, though, it's going to be a nice amount of damage coming out onto Demon. The TP scroll will come through, though, and great presence of mind to realize that there's too many slows in play, but they don't have a single stun between them. So he will survive, and I'm curious if he just goes to the jungle now. The creep wave is going to go under the tower on the top lane, which means that the next one will push out and potentially give him some good experience, but the guaranteed thing is in the jungle.
Yeah, for sure. And with that, looking on stacks, there isn't much of them, and he even has mud golems nearby, so that is pretty unfortunate for him on the other side as well. A couple of singles here, so he needs to get those kind of stacked up and at the ready, but, you know, it is almost stacking time. Bottom lane, though, Mike Park nearby does have the 1 level now into his queue. If he's thinking about making a move in from behind, the TP comes, and he gets welcomed with a magic missile to the face. He's trying to get close enough to at least for Fluff, fakes it out once, can't get there yet. Puts him in the corner. That should be an easy grab. Double Edge could secure it if he wants it. No, he gets stunned from the Centaur, so he won't get the last hit. It goes to slip, but the Scream flies through and is going to connect and take down Mike. Now MyNuts, big damage right there. Steps back. Black Hole is going to connect on Brax and the Centaur family, and they're going to try to at least nuke them down, but Ush is able to just get the one clean right-click through. That Black Hole is not going to amount to a whole lot. And Fire walk away the victors in that one. 3-1 the new score, and they get 550 gold swing towards them.
Yeah, I think that that was a miscommunication on Complexity's part. There's no value in that black hole. He gets
Dire's
one
middle
centaur
tower
kill
is
off
under
of it.
attack.
Fluff's like, okay, I'll lick that wound, and we'll get a very big cooldown taken off the table. Although the black hole, generally speaking, in the early game only amounts to a solo kill, it's still obviously a lot more valuable than just a neutral kill, and he was going down one way or another. He thought there would be more follow-up, but they were unwilling to commit, and that was the right call. The only thing that was completely wasted was the black hole. It probably should have just been the death of the Enigma and the full disengage from Complexity.
Mike rotates the top, but it's not a matchup he likes, one-on-one with a Bat Rider who even has a DD on hand. So he's got to wait back and make sure it doesn't pop up too many of those stickies. But meanwhile, Zeus is going to get the burst onto Queen of Pain, certainly with assistance from Z-Freak in that silence. He ain't blinking away nowhere. So it's quick amplification right there with the Zeus burst, and not a lot your Bat Lady can do.
Yeah, but although it might be a little bit of a hard time for the other lanes, down bottom, Ush is farming like a boss. He's already up to 3,900 net worth. His Battle Fury is the thing he's going to rush out after just the basic boots of speed. No Poor Man's Shield, no treads, just going outright for this cleave build, and this is going to allow him to just farm so rapidly. He can also clear out the Eidolons if they ever try to push out the lanes by themselves, and yeah, he'll have a great timing on his main stuff.
Oh no, they're being baited into going for Mike, but help is right behind him, plus the TP rotation coming through. Vengeful Spirit is donezo. It's going to be an easy takedown right there. Demon hits the high road and will TP back out towards mid lane, it looks like, but it is going to be a one-man takedown for what was a casual, easy rotation already to the top lane for Complexity.
Yeah, so Complexity have to make these plays happen. They have to get involved in fights early. They now have a Stampede to make that more valuable, but essentially they really feel a lot better now than they will in, I don't know, 8 or 9 minutes. The PA is going for an early game fighting build of Phase Boots and Aquila. Her farm just does not compare to the anti-mages, and as a result, he has to be involved in fights. They have to start getting kills and finding ways to use their ultimates in a creative fashion. But for now, it's just been like 3 or 4 man rotations to the side lanes. Good fight for them down bottom. And good fight up top, but the anti-mage got the last hit on the tower, and they have yet to bring him down. I just want to actually ask you, do you think there's even going to be a kill in this anti-mage this game, or does it all come down to the crits?
Yeah, I mean, you're, like I said at the draft, when you're putting a lot in RNG, you know, already for your PA, who does peak at peculiar times in the game, and all those times, that's when Anti-Mage, as long as he's doing his own game plan, he's like, I'm not getting involved, guys. I got to farm up. You know, I'm not looking to get caught out. I'm just going to find my own way. And, yeah, without having any sort of silence, maybe if they want to get a Blink Dagger onto the Enigma in hopes that they can get the upper hand by jumping in, it's going to be a tall order. Ush is going to be pretty slippery this game. If he gets what he wants, there shouldn't be any deaths, or at least very little. But Demon's going to get jumped top lane, and he could get brought down, but Swindle's going to get lassoed up, pulled back into trouble, and they're going to turn it right on over, and they get 2. Limp right there with the assault coming through from Fluff and his army. It's going to be a nice takedown there for Fire to fire right back, 5-3, and now pressure on top lane with this army. They're going to look to take a tier 1.
Yeah, the little Zeus that could try to Arc Lightning down the Bat Rider to at least get a last hit on Demon, but no, there's no way breaking that lasso. There's no way of turning that, and in the end, you're faced with a bunch of mythical beasts where you're going to kill off you and then take your tower as well. Fortification is available. It'll be a free pop for them, but I mean, right now, it's just great control from Fire in the early game. That's what you expect out of Fluff and Stuff's Chen. And they actually don't even bother fortifying. It's just continuous momentum for them. They get the mechanism out in just 100 gold, and the Enigma is actually going to be going for a Midas build once again.
Going a bit more greedy, taking it to the late game, knowing that that's a game that Anti-Mage likes to play, and just hoping he'll withstand the point at when a Midas is at its weakest, right after grabbing it here. We'll see as Fire wants to play it a bit more slow, which I wagered that could be the case. But then again, Demon with that fresh Blink Dagger, he loves to kind of put that to strong use the second he gets it here. So with that, we'll see if he continues to look for the pickoffs while they can. Just him and Brax together could be more than enough to take down any Complexity member who's caught off guard. But top lane, speaking of getting caught off guard, we have a couple of Fire supports that are a bit far from home here. But they just want to kind of get the intel as far as what's happening in the Complexity jungle, it seems. They have one ward over here, and it looks like they're just kind of peering in as far as what the hell's going on.
Ooh, lasso on mid though, they're gonna pull in Limp, just a quick Sonic Wave, Scream of Pain, just making sure that they can get the kill cleanly and not give a chance for a Stampede to allow him to escape. We do see the potential to jump in here, Stampede. Can they get the silence though? That's the big thing. They get the silence, and they will combo up with a ton of magical damage. 1 point of spell shield, not gonna be enough, as he doesn't have the power turrets to survive a little bit more.
I'll call it the caster curse, I suppose, but with Eyes in the Skies, apparently from Complexity, they were able to scout out Ush, and with the help, of course, of that Stampede, they get Z-Free close enough to get the Silence. Mystic Flare combo and Centaur is just something we've seen all the days, so it's enough burst to kind of break through Anti-Mage, even with his passive. So with that, they get a big grab on that front, but mid lane tier 1 is going to be the exchange here for Fire.
Yeah. And I was going to mention this real quick. I saw Enigma pooling up 2,000 gold when he already had the Gloves of Haste. This meant that he wasn't going for the Midas. He might still go for that after, but he did want to prioritize the Blink here.
Yeah, having that Blink certainly can also catch off like we saw there already onto Ush, so I guess just being able to get prime positioning. But yeah. I mean, with the help of Stampede, it just shows that if they're able to close the gap quickly, Anti-Mage might not be able to react in time, whether it be the Silence there or a Black Hole to lock him in place. Black Hole was, you know, the Mystic Flare on top, stun with Mystic Flare on top. It's clear that Ush is really going to have to be on his toes when farming.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, another thing was the Hand of God. Just, I mean, it helps a little bit, but he still needs to get a little bit more durability. And I guess he could go for the Ultimate Orb before the Yasha. It's uncommon, but that plus 10 strength would probably avoid another death like that.
So Brax, who has the components for the first Oblivion Staff, going down the road of an Orchid, which I certainly don't blame him in this kind of a game, could make for very easy pickings on a lot of these supports. But for now, Demon nearby farming it up as Complexity rotate over here. My Nuts has Blink and Black Hole, if they so choose, in their arsenal. But it looks like they'll just take back that farm. It will be scouted and pinged out from Fire, and they step back and just kind of see what develops before them. But it looks like Complexity are going to be pushing indeed from the top and trying to get a tier 1 themselves. They have yet to take a tower in this game.
Yeah, I gotta say though, before a fight breaks out, look at the Observer Wards coming out from both sides. They have full vision on Brax right here. They get the silence immediately, and even with a delayed blink, they're still gonna be able to bring down Brax.
Yep, good know-how. Once again, allows them to just execute as they get the jump onto Fire before they know what the hell's actually happening. And yeah, chalk it up to the obs. Right there behind the tower, they can see exactly what's going on. It's aggressive wards from both sides. And yeah,
exactly.
Fire have one mid lane that well behind the tower.
Fresh, and it's probably going to give them a lot of valuable intel. This is a very unorthodox ward, and I can't imagine it being sentryed the entire duration.
Very interesting. Even Fluff scouting out, pulling back the wave on bottom so they can secure the 2-2 tower. They do get it, but Fluff could pay for his life, or will he? They turn back instead onto Mike. Mike's going to be forced to retreat, but these two supports get the job done on bottom lane, and they end up just trading a tier 1 for a tier 2.
It's a deny. The Zeus actually got the last hit on it, so that's a really big difference maker between the momentum of Fire.
So that gold will be taken away, but I mean, I guess it's one less tower near the Roche area. Why not? So a little bit of something, but
yeah, definitely.
Well, we'll see here. Look at this. Brax hunting in the jungle here. My Nuts nearby, but able to just blink away from trouble. Brax clearly very itchy to try to put that ult to use and try to get a pick play, but the opportunities aren't quite there, and it seems like Complexity are able to execute. When they are able to, make their pick plays happen, it seems to be easy breezy, to be honest with you. And for Fire, it looks like they have to work a lot harder when they try to make their trades.
Definitely. And I don't think they're going to be able to actually capitalize on the map control they have in the bottom lane towards Roche until Ush hits 3 a.m. Because as it stands right now, the Venge is going for a 4-1-1 build. It does not go for the medallion or doesn't have the farm for it just yet, and this is actually becoming very, very common. The nerf to Vengeful Spirit's cooldown actually made it so that Magic Missile maxing is probably like the only build you can really go. The only exception is when you have really heavy physical damage lineups. You have familiars to play around with, that kind of thing. You can benefit a lot more from the Wave of Terror. Otherwise, you see it stuck at rank 1 for at least the first 7 levels.
Yeah, with that, for now being the babysitter to Ush as he continues to farm on up. Looks like he's made the purchase, and he's got a Yasha on the way. So potential early makings of a Manta, or at least the reliable Yasha for now. And we'll have to see where he looks to take it from there, but now confident the 3 of them head down this mid lane. Demon and Whitebeard will split off, it looks like. Scouting out the jungle. Chen even getting in on the action with his neutrals. Move forward. Stampede doesn't save him. Dagger's going to slow them down, though. And look at the stun lock that's going to be coming out from Fluff. And Mike has no chance. It's Centaur on Centaur hate right now. Hand of God comes out, but Whitebeard ultimately will be slashed down from Swindle. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. The off lane for the support. Fire do walk away a little bit on top there. But, man, it gets hot and heavy so quick, and we only see bloodshed from 1 on each side.
Yeah, I mean, the Chen is going to be playing very defensively with Hand of God and Mech, but when he gets the opportunity to use his creeps like that, he certainly will. And we also have that Sonic Wave withheld, so Brax is going to have that for an extended time for the next clash. And yeah, this is going to be Complexity, who are, I would say, less confident. Without the Stampede to disengage, Queen of Pain pickoff is very likely, and it just comes down to the angle of attack for her. She also wants to farm a little bit for her Orchid, so maybe she waits about a few creep stacks, clears those out, gets the Orchid, and goes for a kill.
I gotta say, though, at this point in the game, though, the scariest person is Ush. He has got a lot of farm going for him. With that helps the Battle Fury. 9,300 net worth for him, and you're looking at the core of the other side. Swindle's PA, about 4th as far as net worth, 6.6. Really needs to probably play the game of catch-up here. It's 1,500 gold to throw together, but what options do you take from here? And standard would be something like a BKB where you're going against the swap, you're going against the lasso. It's probably not the best option. I mean, where do you try to go from here to help out against what could be the potential wrath of this AM later on?
Well, one thing is I'm kind of surprised that he didn't go for Hand of Midas. He went for the Dominator, which kind of fills the same role. The idea is to take one of the creeps away from Chen, and Midas does that like, instantly. The Dominator takes it and puts it into your own pocket. The thing is that it can be persuaded back if Fluff himself has that ability off cooldown. So a little tug of war there. But either way, as long as he picks up Midas or Dominator, he's doing the anti-Chen job. And from there, BKB is definitely something to consider, especially since the Orchid is very clearly coming out from the Queen of Pain. But it does slow down his farm rates. So Battle Fury and BKB are probably the two items that he really wants, but he has to make a choice, and the defensive one is usually the one you do in this situation.
See a scout out as Limp continues to see if there's any wards near the Roche pit area, and maybe a Roche is on the agenda here for Complexity. Nuts will scout it out. Has the Eidolons to come help out. Mike's going to be there next. They want to push out the mid lane a little bit further, or at least let Fire think that they're there farming. But Fire already have their eyes straight ahead towards Roche, where they are smoked up. They place down the ward, and you got a Bat Rider on your team who's able to go right on in, grab Swindle, pull him back with the lasso, scream beautifully on the 2. Unfortunately, Nuts had to blink into that one. Demon goes to the high ground to get away. Mystic Flare going to be dropped, but Mike is able to slash on forward. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Whitebeard swaps for Fluff. And Fluff has to pull out the mech to save him for now. Now Limp, big damage. The Centaurs are able to help clean him down. And Braxton, meanwhile, gets a double kill. Now you see a trade between Z-Freak and Whitebeard. The wand pop, and he gets it off right there with the help of the wave.
Ush just dove onto the tier 4s and kills off Enigma with the Mana Void. Just mans up on him when he's going for the split push. He says, okay, you want to 1v1 me? I'm certainly more farm. He goes in, Mana Voids Enigma under his tier 4 towers, and then buys a Manta style from the enemy base to go and push this tier 3 even harder with absolutely no contest. Now, the PA will spawn, he will have to TP, but he has certainly done his job here.
It looked like Fire.
He wants a fortification. Like, I don't even know if the fortification was a good idea, because this anti-mage is going to be a real problem in the top lane for the next 5 minutes, and you can certainly say that he is Manta style.
Absolutely ridiculous. Fire clearly had the idea of what Complexity were doing, and Complexity just literally got caught with their pants down, it seemed. They got to go in there and get the party started. They split apart the fight the way they wanted to, and Fire just kind of cleaned house. And all that meanwhile, Ush just continued to find so much farm and made the split push happen, and ends up being a 5-man takedown, the biggest devastating fight of the game. And you can see, no surprise, the net worth swell is going to dramatically go and begin to climb towards Fire's favor, going towards the 8K mark at this point. And now this allows for easy itemization. But yeah, top lane, they're making the go onto Brax, but the Orchid's there, and he's going to try to kite him out with the slow. There's the crit, though. Too many of those, and Brax is going to be in trouble, so doesn't want to risk it. Jumps back and away. Maybe could re-engage, but all the meanwhile, Demon is actually going to be taken down along the bottom, and they get the 1-man drop on Bat Rider there. It's going to be your Skywrath Mage who finishes him off. Doesn't even need to use the Mystic Flare, and man, back at top, it's going to be Anti-Mage who jumps back in, and they eventually do get a hold of Swindle, and they get the job done.
They looked at his inventory and they knew that he didn't have a TP, so Queen of Pain and Ush wanted to both go for the flank play there, and since I saw so many were committed to the ward wars that were going down on the bottom rune, they were able to get that clutch kill, and this PA just desperately needs a BKB. She's getting destroyed by this Orchid. The last fight, it amplified so much damage that she was dead before she could cast the spell, and it's just becoming a real problem. They go for the Roche play, but they don't have their damage dealer here. The Enigma will be able to do some work. Without a Medallion, they're probably going to have to TP back to defend their tier 3s before they can actually finish the Roche. Or, for that matter, we could just see Demon rush right in the pit.
They're already heading that way. He waves over, and, well, with that, they have to pull back again. This is the second attempt that KotLGuy are trying to just go for this level 1 Roche, but Fire have already added pressure on a couple of the fronts, and they have to change course of action, unfortunately, and they're not going to get that done. And Fire just showing that they're in strong control here. Brax optimizing fell down, but yeah, they get a catch on the Mine Nuts. They pull to the low ground, and they absolutely decimate him. Meanwhile, on the other side, though, IX Mike's able to get a hold of your Chen, and they make it a 1-for-1 trade between two different supports. But eliminating the Black Hole out of the game, very good there for Fire.
Really
Only
tough
for now.
position for them. Yeah, I mean, we haven't really seen a good Black Hole this game, and it's just been great positioning from Fire, great control overall. Even though the Enigma has free farm, he hasn't really been able to do much more to contribute a mechanism and some overall just good push. But we see it, tier 1 top and bottom have been destroyed, but so much more has been taken off the map from Fire. The Anti-Mage really doing work, and he's going to go for the Heart of Taras, because this item is countered by 2 skills on the side of KotLGuy. They've got the Static Field, which does damage based on health, and actually...
Man, beautiful bait setup from KotLGuy right there. They had the hook out with the worm on it, that worm being Swindle. They felt that they were going to make the jump. Mike was there ready nearby with Z-Freak, and they get it done.
Oh, man mode.
Oh, Ush going deep to try to get things finished, but it's going to be a Yule stun follow-up, and he could be in trouble. Forced to pull out the Manta and blinks away, but right into a silence, and now he's going to get caught up. Swindle's going to be there. He tries the man mode onto him, finds the blink spot into the trees up and above at the north. They don't know he's there. He's safe for now and has the TP if he wants to get out, and he'll just blink away.
That was the ballsiest thing I've ever seen. Going in 1v4 right after your initiators die, they're like, yeah, we're screwed, there's no way. But he's like, yeah, there's a Zeus involved. He definitely would have killed him if the Yules hadn't been already available for limps. So, yeah, that's a very aggressive play, but it actually could have worked out for him, and he doesn't actually suffer a loss. So, yeah, they're just pretty hungry for this Queen of Pain, or for this Phantom Assassin. As you can see, they want to stop this BKB from coming out, and Swindle knows it. So he uses himself as bait and make a great play happen, but it's not enough to put them back in the game just yet. Long term, they'll get a BKB on the Phantom Assassin, and she will be able to nullify most of what he's up against. Obviously, the Lasso still being his prime threat, and a couple other spells will still go right through. But another thing to look at is Ush. He's going to be able to split push really heavily with the Heart of Taras available. The Manta Illusions will benefit from the increased health pool as well. But there are a couple spells that do deal with it nicely. You get the Static Field from the Zeus, which is based on your current HP, a percentage of that, and then they also have the Midnight Pulse, which is based on your max HP.
Got to be careful where you're standing, where you take your fights, because that will wither you away pretty damn fast before you know it. So, oh, now they make the jump on the Whitebeard. Mike going balls to the wall for this one. He gets the help of the Mystic Flare, and they execute. Vengeful Spirit will go down. Immediate buyback, maybe trying to go for the hurrah swap. Demon jumps in, gets the lasso onto Mike, pulls him back, but he goes down. Sonic Scream going to fly on out, and they're able to trade the one. And there's the big swap back as they try to get a hold of Limp here. Meanwhile, there's going to be the jump, and Limp gets taken down. Fire. Big fight for them. Double kill for Ush. Brax still on the hunt, catches out Swindle, puts down the Orchid. And Swindle wants to man up right now onto Brax, but here comes Ush, and that is a fight he does not want to take. Brax scouts out My Nuts. My Nuts has BK, or the Black Hole, but he just instead tries to get the TP to get out of there. Not the time to spend it, and now they could end up losing more. Swindle in trouble. TPs, do they have the burst? No, they don't. He's able to get away last second because of that blur. RNG in the favor right there for KotLGuy, but it doesn't matter as they're already being able to press into the base on the low ground, or on the low part of the map, into the high ground. This tier 3 is potentially going to be taken down. Yep, and Rax could be damaged. I don't think they'll be taken down. We still have 20 seconds, but no fear of Black Hole for those 20 seconds. And here comes the creeps. This is a Rax down.
Yep, but we're going to see a huge stomp coming in from Mike. Unfortunately, the damage from the Mystic Flare is not that much, with the spell shield pretty much maxed out here from Ush. Now, Mechanism comes out, the PA goes in, but she's the one to actually get evaporated as soon as she goes in. Now Limp will fall outside the base, and The attempted initiation from Mike just turns on its head. They can't get anything more than the Vengeful Spirit, and that's going to turn into 2 lanes instead of 1. Ush back to the top lane. He knows that's the weakest, and he's right on top.
Yep, and it's going to only take about 6 attacks, and they'll be able to finish off that tier 3. Rax is now exposed in mid lane. Complexity now pulling out one of their last defenses here, at least for the meantime, to try to stall out and take the game a little bit longer, but Fire don't want to wait for nothing. Ush is now going onto the Rax here, just working on the range little by little. But now with Enigma back in the game, we'll have to watch out for the black hole. Ush is going to make the jump. Manta's going to be there. Demon flies through. Can't get a hold of Mike with the lasso quite yet. The slow's there. And now the Malphus flies through, and Demon is able to throw out the lasso. Maybe they can focus fire the Enigma. They can. No black hole again for a full minute. Fire are going to have uncontested push once more on the top lane, and that's more than enough. 2 Raxes is all Complexity can take. Fire get the victory here in game number 2, and we're going to take it to a game number 3.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to really talk about here is the movement across the map for Complexity. They had so much emphasis on taking Roshan. They had them in the pit 3 different times, but they didn't have everything accounted for. They had 3 people in the pit for their first attempt, and immediately PA gets lassoed out. Another attempt, they had 4 heroes, but none of them were the right-click carry, so they couldn't bring it down fast enough. They were just so dependent on getting that Rosh, because they were worried that the Chen Venge would take it easily, but what they didn't count on is just getting obliterated by the Queen of Pain, the Bat Rider, when it came to those Rosh engagements, and the problem was that the BKB never came up for PA until it was pretty much irrelevant. She could have been farming her jungle. They could have kind of secured a perimeter where she could have farmed more effectively, and she wouldn't have been picked off by Orchid cooldown after Orchid cooldown. But instead, they tried to go for Rosh engages that favored Fire, and they were able to really build momentum off of a very good amount of farm on Ush. So great play from them across the board, and really making up for the unfortunate game 1.
And with that, we conclude game number 2, and we're going to be even 1-1. So going into game number 3 now for Team Fire taking on Complexity here. You are watching the Fallout Gaming Major All-Stars Dota 2 event over here on Beyond the Summit. I am KotLGuy. Catch me on Twitter at KotLGuy, and my great co-caster and company at Blaze Casting and our statsman at KartDota. We'll be back with more Dota action coming up in just a few moments.